All right, it's the Chunk Podcast. We are finally back, and it's the Super Bowl 54 preview show, and we appreciate you clicking and listening, but we would be remiss to start any sort of podcast or content without addressing what has happened literally hours before we are recording this. Kobe Bryant has died at the age of 41 in a helicopter crash in California. I am still reeling, like I think much of the world is at this point, but it's just such an unbelievable thing. And to me, I was talking to my wife, I think it's the biggest celebrity or athlete, obviously celebrity, he was a celebrity, he was known worldwide, death that I've ever experienced in my life. And on the podcast today, we have Blake, we have David, we have JJ, I'm Justin, and before we start the Super Bowl stuff, I mean, it just needed to be addressed. Unbelievable today.
Absolutely. Like you said, you said to your wife that this is the biggest celebrity, sports figure, any type of person death that we've experienced. Princess Diana died when we were in the early 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember my parents watching it on TV, her funeral. Obviously, I was 4 years old. We could check the year on that, but
yeah,
I didn't grow up knowing who Princess Diana was. Michael Jackson passed away. It's not to compare anything. Yeah. But when you think back to your childhood, especially all of us on this podcast being sports fanatics, it's it hit me. Like everyone, there's so many interviews going out right now of everyone's I really do not have the words, and that's me, right? I truly gathering my words now, but I mean now with a microphone in front of my face, I feel the same way as they do.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to say.
It's super tough because it's been a while since we had done a Chunk podcast, which by the way we'll be doing more frequently, which I feel like I've said in the past, but trust me, for other reasons I'll tell you later in the podcast, we're gonna have a little more time for podcasts. But this hitting right before we came to record, we could not address this. And what's crazy is it happened, and it took me at least a half an hour of Google searching and just fact checking and me just praying that there was a sliver of a chance that somebody was wrong. TMZ reported it, and I know a lot of people slam TMZ, but when they report something, they are pretty good on their word, and it's unfortunate that this kind of unfolded this way. But it wasn't just Kobe. That was the worst part. Hours later, it was confirmed that his daughter, Gianna, was also on the helicopter with him, among other people. Obviously, rest in peace to everybody on that who was involved. But it's tough. It's definitely tough. And as a Celtics fan growing up, I will say, I've been a Celtics fan my whole life, but I didn't really get into basketball until those early 2000s Lakers, where I was watching them take on, the Pistons and the, God, man, I don't even remember who else they were playing. It was the 76ers, and just watching them play with Kobe and Shaq, that was how I got into basketball. And to lose somebody who meant that much to the game, it's just it's still not settling in. It doesn't make any sense right now. It just doesn't make any sense.
I mean, most of the other basketball pantheon members are still alive. And if I remember reading correctly, the reason they were in the helicopter was they were going to his daughter's basketball game with one of her teammates.
Yeah.
And so two children basically to lose their lives, in addition, it's really, really sad.
Oh God.
Yeah. Reports are still unfolding. Obviously the details of everything that transpired, how it happened, who was involved, the amount of people it's obviously they're still going through all that, but just unbelievable to lose a figure like that who had so much left to give for the game and just in life in general. He was involved in so many people's lives. I was seeing him on MSNBC. He was building something bigger than basketball, and even while he was playing basketball, he was bigger than basketball. Every crumbled up paper ball thrown in the trash was a Kobe, and forever will be a Kobe in my life, and I think in everyone else's life. I mean, you just throw it, it's a Kobe, and now it just feels different, and it sucks. It sucks to lose somebody that big, who's such a big impact on everyone's life. But again, that's not why you opened this podcast. For you, obviously, we're here for the Super Bowl 54 preview, but we had to address it, and it just sucks. I don't know how we transition into the Super Bowl, but that's where we're at right now. So I'm going to hit this intro, and I know it's not going to feel right, but that's just how it is. So here it is, the Chunk Podcast Super Bowl 54 preview. Woo! Oh boy. Okay. It's the Super Bowl, people. Loosen up. Obviously, our hearts are heavy right now.
Grab a beer.
The Patriots aren't in it.
Baby!
Hey, you know what's weird
Let's
right
go.
now? We have two Jets fans now. I'd like to introduce David Tomchinsky to the podcast. Obviously, JJ Mitchell, the chunk-long Jets fan since day one. He's a day oneer, and I'm sure David is too, but this is his first podcast. Blake Lipstein's on the podcast too, first podcast. And this is obviously they've seen sorrow with the Jets, for years. Blake, you just lost a big person as well. His name is Eli Manning. He just retired. I don't know how that feels to you, but as an Eli Manning lookalike and fan, how does that feel for you?
I mean, I am sad, but not too sad because I know he had a great 16 seasons. He got 2 Super Bowls against the Patriots. Just a very strong influence in the game, just like Kobe Bryant was to basketball. He's going to be remembered as one of the greats. One of the first quarterbacks, to beat, the best. Tom Brady twice.
Yeah, that's his. That's the thing is there's a debate for Hall of Fame for him, and we won't get onto that. That's another podcast. But I think he should be in the Hall of Fame because just the magnitude of the teams he beat to win the Super Bowls. He's probably, if he didn't get those Super Bowls, probably not in the Hall of Fame. But just the magnitude of what he did. Yeah. So we move on. This is obviously not an Eli Manning podcast. This is a Super Bowl 54 preview, and the Giants are not there. Before we get into it, I want to give a shout out to the newest chunkers for supporting us on Patreon. They are official chunkers. Cindy and Deb, they've been supporting us online. And basically, if you support us on Patreon, you get a shout out on the podcast, amongst other things. And we want to give a shout out to Cindy and Deb. You can support our podcast network, the Chunk Podcast Network, and become an official chunker yourself by checking us out on Patreon, patreon.com/thechunkpod. Okay. It's been a little while, like we've said, since we've jumped on a podcast. We've got some newbies, David and Blake, and we got the classic JJ and myself. But I want to just address real quick the state of our podcast and the podcast network that we've got going on here. The Chunk Podcast, every intention is to have a podcast every single week. Obviously, life gets in the way. But moving forward, here on out, I think it's going to be pretty doable with the amount of time I have. For those who do not know, things have changed in my life. I'm now around much more. And if you're listening and you know the situation, you know why. But here we are. It's the Chunk Podcast. And moving forward, the movie Propcast, which we have teased in the past, that's going to be getting underway as well. And a new podcast coming in the near future, Tales of the GOAT. It's going to be a pretty sweet podcast about some of the greatest players of all time, greatest athletes of all time, and just accounts from other people who have been around them. So Kobe Bryant will be one of them at some point. I can guarantee you that. Eli Manning, I don't know.
Eli, right?
Yeah, Eli Manning, I don't know. We'll see. But you just
Sam Darnold one day.
Yeah, well, who knows? That's going to be a way down the liner. But
Way down the line.
you can keep informed by following us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at The Chunk Pod. Okay, it's officially football time, and Super Bowl 54 is here. San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs are taking each other on. Obviously, it's going on Sunday. It's in Miami, which I don't know if you guys know. The Chunk is pretty much based in Florida for the most part. And there were talks, as a Packers fan, of potentially getting maybe some, or at least attempting to get some Super Bowl tickets if the Packers won. Turns out the San Francisco 49ers are a much better football team than the Packers, so that won't be going down. And then plus, when I looked at prices, it just wasn't going to happen.
Man, the thing that's crazy is the entire season, I was just asking myself, man, are the 49ers, are they the real deal? I don't know. It's only a couple wins. And then they just kept going and going and going, and here they are. there.
I asked
going
the
to
same
Super
thing.
Bowl. And to be honest, I'm not sure. Like, Shanahan's a great coach, but are they the real deal? Are they going to have longevity like some other franchises have had? That's a big question.
Is this kind of like a fluke year? You're kind of saying they're just getting not like they have talent on both sides of the ball, but there's things are kind of clicking for them when they probably necessarily wouldn't have in the past.
Yeah. Well,
I think the turnaround they've had, which I'm sure we're going to touch more on, is insane.
What are you calling moron?
From their
No, I'm kidding. No, listen. Obviously,
Right.
obviously the season before. Hold on, wait. I got the button for that now. Okay,
Boom,
obviously
the first one, good.
Obviously, the season before they were pretty much trash, and Garoppolo was also not there. Right. He got hurt. This was his first year actually back.
Injured.
Yeah.
Yep.
They were savaged by injuries last year.
Yeah, it was pretty tough.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty tough for them. But they are a good football team, and like you said, they have players on both sides of the ball. Their defense is for sure what got them there. Their defense is incredible, which that is definitely the best asset they have, which is going to be awesome to watch when the Kansas City Chiefs' best asset is their offense and Pat Mahomes and literally everybody on that offense who can run a 4-2 40. They're like the fastest team in the league by far, and it's going to be really fun to watch both of them go at each other, obviously, this Sunday. But I want to get into how they got here because we obviously didn't do a playoff preview podcast, so I want to get into how they got there. They both had first-round byes. Obviously, they were both the two top teams. Well, I think the Chiefs actually were the 2 seed in the AFC, but they were 2 of the top teams going into the playoffs. I do want to hit on, real quick, the Tennessee Titans beating the Patriots in the first round and the Vikings also knocking out Drew Brees. There was a moment there. Obviously, those are 2 major losses for the playoffs and upsets. To see 2 of the greatest of all time get knocked off by these underdog teams, I loved every second of it. I don't know how you guys felt. Blake, I know you watched a lot of this football as well. What was it like seeing Tom Brady get obviously he wasn't playing defense, but the Tennessee Titans beating Tom Brady, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and with me not really liking the Patriots that much, I really loved to see the Titans win that game and the way they won it too. I mean, with the interception at the very end, to just seal the deal to move on to the next round. That to me was just the most satisfying play that I think I will ever see.
That was
and I will say, for a Jets fan, yeah, JJ. Yeah, JJ. Let's get into it. You go. I can't contain myself.
It's nice to see a talented. I mean, the Titans have some great players.
Yeah.
Almost definitely.
Derrick Henry is a freaking beast.
Oh, he's always has been. He just kind of
Vrabel, I think, is a great coach. The Patriots, despite their record, I don't think that they were as good as their record said that they were. So I did expect them to get upset. I just did not expect them to get upset by the Titans. And then to see Vrabel pull the Belichick move with the clock and the penalties.
The chess moves.
So many good moments in that game.
Yeah, and real quick, I don't like you said his last pass was an interception. Do you really think this is his last year? I don't think. Obviously, he pretty much came out and said that he's not. Is it his last? That's not his last throw as a Patriot, though, right? Do you think he can't not go back to the Patriots, right?
Belichick will leave before Brady does.
Okay.
In my opinion.
What?
Okay.
That's bold. That's a hot take. We need to put that down on the hot take list.
From talking to that is a hot from talking to Patriots fans and other fans, my understanding is that Kraft has a stronger relationship with Brady than he does Belichick.
Huh.
And it sounds like Kraft maybe would want to retain Brady more than he would want to retain Belichick.
It also sounds like Kraft has a strong relationship with some other people too, but that's
I was about to say Kraft probably has a better relationship with Belichick's wife than he does with Belichick. And I'm not getting just literally no. I'm not getting into that. I'm specifically saying like not just a straight up face-to-face relationship because Belichick doesn't seem like he has a relationship with anybody.
Yeah.
His like at all.
Is his mistress.
Just it's football's his mistress.
I've seen like a Q&A with him like in his home and like there was it was really weird. But it was weird to see him in a family setting with like a dog and like on his. It was like this is the guy who just sits on the sideline and doesn't make a face for the entire game. But
did you see the interview they had with Belichick and Nick Saban?
No, God, no.
That was amazing. They were just like straight face talking football. Oh yeah, so you guys have practice tomorrow? Yeah.
Oh,
What are you guys doing to prepare? It was like no emotion, just guys being dudes, football guys.
Oh, ridiculous.
No emotion. Yeah.
All right, no
So
more.
funny.
All right, no more Patriots. They're gone. Listen, the Patriots are gone. The Saints.
Patriots
done.
are gone.
The Saints were gone.
I gotta add real
Okay.
quick. Blake was watching this. The only time I'll hijack this podcast from you,
Yeah.
Justin,
Gotcha.
is if we're talking about the damn Patriots losing
Yeah.
in the playoffs. I woke up that morning, wild card. It was Saturday. It was a Saturday night, and the game was on Saturday night. And I don't know. There was just a 2020, just a fresh smell in the air. And I was like, the Patriots are going to lose tonight. And Blake came over to my house, and we watched it with my wife and his girlfriend, and he actually filmed my reaction. I was like, I never do that. Not for clout, not to be
Yeah.
like go viral on Barstool, other places on Twitter. I was like, I have a very strange, just film this last drive, because as we all probably felt, there was 12 seconds left still,
Yeah.
and the Patriots were all the way in their own end zone, and I think we all were like, they could still win this game.
There's still a
So I was like,
chance.
just film
Crazier
it. Just
things have
film it.
happened, yeah.
Crazier things have happened, especially the Patriots. So just film it, and it ended up being that pick six. I lost control, and I
Yeah.
kind of got like viral on TikTok, and I'm not proud of that at all.
Yeah.
I had to create one for my job.
Yeah, it happens.
Because I'm posting content for my job, and I was like, this is gonna be my first TikTok. So we could definitely bury the Patriots. I don't know if the dynasty's dead, but it doesn't look great to me, because
Yeah.
all these teams we're about to talk about are not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So JJ, let's celebrate, baby.
Jeez, yeah, you guys go have an old Teddy Brewski and talk it over.
Yes.
But anyway, okay, we're going to get out of this wild card round. The 49ers and Chiefs made it out of the wild card round, obviously, because they weren't playing. They were resting. The 49ers in the divisional round, they handled the Vikings pretty easy, lame game. What sucked about the divisional round is, okay, let me get into the Chiefs game. Obviously, the Chiefs and Texans game, it was better than the Vikings and 49ers game because of what happened. The Texans went up 24-0, started the second quarter, and then they weren't leading going into halftime. The Chiefs just freaking walloped them. But the rest of that game sucked. And that's what I'm saying. These games in the divisional round suck so much compared to...
The wild card was way better.
Oh, my God. The wild card was awesome. There was shock value. There was, like, last second, you were on the edge of your seat. The divisional round was like, okay, well, this is it.
It happened.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see the Chiefs just spank the Texans for 50 points, though.
Yeah. Okay, listen, I actually picked...
Especially after not even playing the first quarter.
Yeah, I picked
Yeah.
the Texans, though. I was like, there's something about this Texans team. And obviously watching the beginning of the game, I was like, oh, baby, look at me. I'm a genius. And then, I don't know what happened. I think I was tired or something. I was sitting on the couch, and I literally was like, I just took a drink, and I dozed off for like 5 minutes. And the Chiefs scored 2 touchdowns. And I was like, what's going on here?
It happened. We could look at. We could definitely go and check out the box score, but
Yeah.
it happened in a matter of minutes, like you just said. The 5 minutes wasn't just like an exaggeration. It literally happened like that.
Yeah, in 5 minutes real time, not even game time. Like it was
Yeah.
one of the dumbest things
Insane.
I've dozed off in and then just wound up seeing it. It was ridiculous. But the Chiefs handled the Texans, and I do think the Texans are good, but they get in their own way a lot. And there was the turning point, and everyone felt it for some reason. When Bill O'Brien didn't go for it on 4th down with like 1 yard to go on their side of the field,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that sucks. I mean, obviously, I
They
didn't
put it away.
Yeah, well, I would it have really been away, considering what they could do? But I just think
They would have been up 30.
yeah, it would have been really
The
demoralizing
tides changed.
if they finished that drive with a touchdown and just kept burying. I think that would have definitely.
Well, and
It would've
then
had a factor.
The fake punt where they got stuffed.
Oh, that
my
was like a
God.
makeup.
Yeah, those were the two.
It
Yeah,
was like a series after.
yeah, that was a stupid call. He should have went for it obviously earlier, and that was him like going, you know what I should have done earlier was go for it. Let's do it here.
Overcorrecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a bad idea. So they lost. Obviously, the Chiefs and 49ers move on to the NFC and AFC championship game. To meet, the 49ers wound up meeting the Packers, and the Chiefs met the Titans, and the Titans' run was up. I think at that point, the Chiefs, obviously, they're a stronger team. The Titans, with Ryan Tannehill, for some reason, I don't know why I was in love with this team. I wanted them to make it. I just really was rooting for them. They have so many like underdog pieces. The Tannehill story playing in Miami, I wanted that so bad.
Crazy, yeah.
But the Chiefs are the better
Tannehill
Isn't
team.
it
hype was
wild?
never real. The Tannehill hype was never real.
What do you
He
mean?
got carried by Derrick Henry.
Oh, in the
Derrick Henry
playoffs.
put the entire team. Tannehill, I think he was just game managing there towards the end of the season. I really don't think that they did better with him than Gase did in Miami, but I don't think that aside from maybe one or two plays in the Patriots game, there was nothing that particularly impressed me about Tannehill.
Well, that's the thing is like a lot of people, the first time they saw the Tennessee Titans was this playoff run and actually like watched a game. But if you watched the regular season, Tannehill was on fire though. Like he was like a legit competent quarterback, and something switched in the playoffs where Vrabel was like, this team sucks defending the run and nobody's got a Derrick Henry. Let's just run Henry 35 times.
Yeah.
And it worked, and it just kept working. So unless they had to, which they never really had to until that last part, which I think it was to their detriment to not keep Tannehill engaged, I guess, really, like, or at least let him have some more passes, even though like the play action was working, but it wasn't really effective.
They don't have a strong receiving core either.
They don't. Corey Davis and
Well, Corey Davis is a flop. Tajay Sharp was a drop, a flop, and AJ Brown, though, I will say, is
AJ
a
Brown.
rookie.
Yeah, that was their guy.
AJ
That was their
Brown's
guy.
good.
That dude's good. I really like him a lot. And Jonnu Smith, which Delaney Walker has since passed away like every season. It seems like he just disappears mid-season and then gets hurt and he's gone for the rest of the season, which I don't know if he's going to retire or not. But their backup tight end, which should be the starter, Jonnu Smith, is really good too. So they have at least two decent pieces, and if they can add more, I don't think this is the last we see of them, honestly, if they re-up Tannehill.
Yeah, for sure. The
agree.
AFC, see, I'll say this: the AFC to me is way more exciting than the NFC is right now.
Yeah.
The AFC's got all these new quarterbacks, all these new coaches.
Yeah,
There's
Lamar
a lot of
Jackson,
young
that was
talent.
fun.
I was about to say we're probably, I don't know, 15 minutes or so into this podcast, and the word Ravens hasn't even been said, which is crazy.
Well,
I don't want to sway too far away from
Yeah.
the heading towards the Super Bowl because they're not in it.
Yeah, I thought it
but
was
isn't
gonna
that
be
pretty
Lamar
amazing?
Mahomes.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It's
That's
how they
wild.
got here. Luckily, none of these teams had to deal with the Ravens, but
Yeah.
the Titans just hit them at a good time, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
definitely slapped them up. That was a sad game to watch. It wasn't even.
It was like 3 weeks off or something.
I know,
They
and
were
they
so rusty.
they definitely benched him, not benched him, but obviously they rested them
Can't
going into the
bench.
playoffs.
You got to play him. You
Yeah.
got to do the Belichick
Yeah.
method and play him.
You play to win the game, from what I hear. But
play.
you got to do it. And obviously, it definitely affected
strategy.
it. The Ravens, they're not going away anytime soon either. Obviously,
No.
Lamar Jackson's only
Harbaugh's good too.
Lamar Jackson's
Yeah,
like 12
for
years
sure.
old, so he's going to be around for a considerable amount of time.
Amazing
So
quarterback.
obviously, the reason we didn't talk about them is because none of these teams in the Super Bowl had to interact with them at all
face them,
because of
yeah.
what the Titans did.
Yes.
So, AFC Championship game, like we said, Chiefs beat the Titans pretty handily. Towards the end, it kind of became a game where we're like, maybe, but no. The Chiefs are too good. 49ers and the Packers. Packers fan here. Just want to let you know, came into this game cautiously optimistic. I was like, listen, I saw what happened earlier in the year, right? I was like, there's literally no way it's going to go down like that again. But I did feel like the 49ers are the better team, and obviously we know now they are. But I thought maybe things would be a little different, just a little different. I was like, man, if we can
Just
keep
maybe.
it,
It's a new decade.
we can keep it. Yeah. What's up?
I just want to point something out here. As a Jets fan, all I could do was imagine myself in the shoes of other fan bases, being like, oh man, I could totally see the Jets being the Texans right now and blowing a 24-point lead. Or I could totally see the being a Packers fan right now where you have a solid season, but your quarterback's the only one who's carrying the team. So, you're not going to quite make it because you don't have the talent pool.
Yeah.
That's all I saw is Jets disappointment and
Yeah.
all of the teams that lost on their way to the Super Bowl
And
this year.
I would like to say thank you to the 49ers for just ending it quickly. It wasn't like there was
Oh, yes, because that's way worse. That's way worse when it getting down to the wire and losing by a field goal. That's the Jets' life.
Yeah.
I hated the Pittsburgh Steelers and still hate them so much. I would bawl my eyes out as a little kid.
Yeah.
We would lose. That was back when the overtime was whoever get the ball first.
Yeah.
You just score a point. That's all you need.
That
and
sucked.
it would always be the Steelers or the Colts to just, we're getting an overtime or it's like super close to the end of regulation and we lose by a field goal. I'd rather just kick our asses and we're done with it.
Yeah, you can tune
Or
out.
win. That I would like that. I would prefer that out of
Or
all
win.
the options.
Yeah.
But if I'm losing, just like
Go
you're
out
saying,
quick.
Justin, like, thank you to the 49ers. I feel you.
Yeah.
I was with a Packers fan at this little watch party, and he was not optimistic. He had his beers ready in his cooler right there, and he was popping them, and he left at halftime.
Oh
with
yeah,
his
well,
wife.
that's any self-respecting fan would.
Exactly.
Just after that, and it's good. I mean, you had a lot of time the rest of the day to digest and do other things. You know, that you didn't
Yes.
have to sit through the second half. But what's weird is there was a time where in the second half, and I tweeted it when it happened, when we didn't go for two. The Packers didn't go for two, and LaFleur chose not to go for two, and just kicked a field goal, and then the Chiefs scored again. And it made it a 3-score game. But it was a 2-score game. Had he gone for 2, even if they scored another point, or a field goal it was afterwards, it would have kept it a 2-possession game where towards the end when we had the ball with like 3 minutes left, a score, an onside kick, and a score, it was tied. Well, with obviously the 2-point conversions. So it was a little weird there, but it just didn't seem like it was in the cards anyway. So even if we got it, I don't think anybody thought that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, did you guys feel like in these playoffs the reffing was better or worse than it was in the regular season?
I don't know. It goes
felt-
both ways.
It does go both
I felt
ways
like
for
they
me.
let the players play a little bit more.
I think that's what they do in the NBA, and they get away with it because it's like, okay, everyone knows it's time to step it up in the NBA. It's like you can kind of let them go, no ticky-tack crap. But it is like, it's egregious in the NFL when something bad happens. It's everybody's watching, and there's no way to really fix it. And even with this whole year with like the challenging of pass interference calls, that's a joke. It's
It
just
didn't
been
fix
a joke.
anything, really.
It's been a joke all year, and it's really been a protest for the referees that when somebody tries to call them on their BS for not getting a call right, even if you see it in slow motion video, they're like, no, it ain't gonna happen. Like, and I think
You should be able to just challenge anything at this point.
you should be able to challenge referees who are come back and have a decision, and you should be able to challenge a challenge.
JJ, yeah, right. Oh my, could you imagine that? JJ, I'll say this to your point about comparing the officiating from the playoffs to the regular season is the difference. I usually compare it like year to year. So let's say last year, obviously we had the crazy no call with the Rams and Saints, and we've already on every podcast ever has unpacked that. We know what happened. There's no in the crazy pass interference that should have been called. So this year, the games, there wasn't a big no call or call that decided it. But that Packers Seahawks game where Jimmy Graham caught the ball and didn't
off?
reach. Yeah. Well, he it was 4th and 7, and he didn't get the first down.
Well,
And
yeah.
that wasn't that big. That wasn't as big, and that like. There wasn't this big dramatic, oh my God, like Twitter going off about these calls.
Yeah.
It didn't happen this year. So that's probably why it doesn't seem as crazy to us.
Yeah,
feel me?
that call. I mean, and there were a lot of different angles and like the lines and all that stuff. Everybody came out with their own. I initially didn't think he got that first down, and I was okay with it really because it was a third down play. We still had one more down. We could have kicked a field goal, I think, even, but it was
For sure.
Yeah,
everyone knew.
it was.
That was so much speculation is the kind of what I was trying to go to. That's
Yeah.
like, well, this could have happened, this could have happened. Whereas the Saints one last
Oh,
year,
boy. Yeah.
they would have gotten the
Egregious.
touchdown. You know what I mean? It's like, there's no, I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
So
I
that being
think that's
said,
why it's less intense.
Yeah, I think the NFL referees, it's ridiculous. They more times than not, I feel like they usually get it right, but when it's wrong, it's like it's really wrong. and you hear about it.
Yeah.
I'll put on my tinfoil hat for just half a second. Here.
Okay.
Part of me feels like they call more penalties so they can get more ad time pushed into the game.
Ooh.
Damn, I never think of that stuff.
I would be
Interesting
I would be really curious to see how many more penalties there are called compared to years past. Like this year, there were some times where it was just unwatchable because there were so many penalties.
Oh, for sure.
And
Yeah.
every time you see the screen kind of like shrink, and then on the other half they have like a Bud Light ad or whatever, and you're like,
Yeah.
is this really a PI or is this a Bud Light penalty?
Oh, I do love a good.
This pass interference is brought to you by Bud Light.
Yeah.
That is great. Oh
They
my
should
God.
they should sell the challenge flags too, like just like the logo for logo
Yeah.
placement. That'd be great.
Oh my God.
but
One
anyway,
day, probably.
Yeah, it's probably coming. And luckily, there's nothing on the jerseys yet, like they have in the NBA, but that's probably coming too. Okay, so now we're at the Super Bowl. Obviously, it only took us a half hour to get here. Super Bowl 54. It's Kansas City Chiefs taking on the 49ers, and I wanted us to all come prepared with picks. Obviously, I want to get it on record what you think. Who's going to win? What's the score? And I wanted us to all have like just a shot in the dark guess at MVP, Super Bowl MVP. I will say the spread for this football game is 1.5, and it's 1.5 in favor of the Chiefs. So they think obviously the Chiefs are going to win by 1.5, which is pretty close. Honestly, they think this is going to be a really close game with the over/under set at 55. So that's going to be pretty decent amount of scoring and a close game. I don't know how your guys' scores wind up coming close to that. I made my guesses before I saw that, but it's a pretty interesting. If you're betting, I mean, you're almost betting straight up. Really, like, well, who do you think is going to win with a 1.5 spread? That's really not that big.
Who wants to go first
Oh,
on record?
Blake, how about you just lead us off, man? Let's
Blake,
put this
do it.
down. This is the predictions. Super Bowl 54 because obviously we're all experts, and let's just start it off.
100%.
It's the Kansas City Chiefs. It's the 49ers. Blake, who do you have winning this game?
Well, I will say my pick will come from one of the previous Super Bowls, the Chiefs and Patriots, where the Chiefs kind of dug themselves in a hole at the end of the game with the neutral zone infraction. That kind of sealed the deal for the Patriots, and it made me pretty sad to see that happen off of a call like that. So my choice is going to be the Chiefs 42-49, and of course Patrick Mahomes being the MVP.
42-49. First off, what the hell are you talking about? Those two teams played in the Super Bowl? Did the Chiefs and the
shook my
Patriots play in
head.
the Super Bowl? I don't think that's even possible. But what game were you referencing? I'm
dying,
curious.
dude.
I just didn't know. I mean, I heard it and I was like, wait a minute. You were
thought I
probably
was
talking
tripping,
about
man.
Chiefs versus some other.
Oh no, I think it was the game before the Super Bowl. Sorry.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Oh, last year,
Last
the AFC
year.
Championship. That was like the best
there
game.
it
Oh my
is.
God, yeah.
Okay.
I was
So
like, what is going on?
I had to clarify. I just wanted to be sure. So you're picking the Chiefs over 49ers?
Yeah.
Score again.
42-49, and Patrick Mahomes being the MVP.
Okay, obviously, to me, in my opinion, if the Chiefs win, I mean, it's going to be hard. It would be hard-pressed to find any other MVP than Patrick Mahomes, especially if you're putting up 49 points. My God. 49-42, I hope you're right, just for the sake of, holy crap, that's got to be a crazy game to watch. Like 49-42, I'd love to watch that. That'd be pretty sweet. David, what you got, man?
Alrighty, so last Super Bowl was so bad. Not even take out the Patriots. It was
Yeah.
like 13-3. That it was so bad. I want, with not a dog in the fight. JJ can attest. We all can attest. We don't have a dog in the fight. We all want a good game. So, like Blake, I'm going high score, and I need to preface this. I told you guys before we recorded. We were doing a little quick research.
Yeah.
I had made my score picks yesterday. Blake, I'm glad that I have a witness because we talked points, and I said these same exact points yesterday. So the day before the Pro Bowl, and I have them written down, timestamped on my phone. I think the Chiefs are going to beat the 49ers 38-33. Why that's important is because I went and I Googled NFL playoffs. I just want to pull up the picture.
Yeah.
The first thing that comes up is NFL Pro Bowl AFC 38-33. I
Pro
should have
Bowl.
put money on the Pro Bowl. That was the score. That was the
Okay.
score of the Pro Bowl. And so I had no idea about that. normal people would switch their score and be like, well, how could that happen? How could the Pro Bowl and the Super Bowl, what are the odds of that, to have the same score? I'm sticking to it. Chiefs 38, 49ers 33, and obviously that's 5 touchdowns and a field goal. Patrick Mahomes is the MVP.
Okay, that makes sense. Probably all 5 of those touchdowns coming from Mahomes' hand, I would imagine, in that scenario. Okay, yeah. I see that.
Think so.
That's it's possible. It's definitely possible, and it's really weird that the Pro Bowl went down like that. And
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, no, it's obviously really strange. You bet on the wrong game. You should have definitely
exactly.
Bet. I don't know who's betting on the Pro Bowl, but there's probably gambling addicts out
and
there.
And I would have went AFC as well because I'm a Jets fan. I always go AFC.
Damn.
So that's weird, man.
You messed up. You messed
this
up.
Whole day is
you know what'd be
weird.
really weird is if the Super Bowl winds up being the same score. That's
what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
Theories.
When would that ever happen? That's Illuminati confirmed.
You'll see JJ tinfoil hat. Like, what's going on, man? Speaking of JJ, let's get your picks in here. Chiefs 49ers. Who's winning? What's the score? Who's the MVP?
It's a good year to watch the Super Bowl, because the Patriots aren't in it, but also because the team that I want to win is the team that I think is going to win.
Ooh.
And that is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
I think that the 49ers defense is very, very good, and I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as these other guys think, but Patrick Mahomes cannot be denied.
Okay.
And Andy Reid's play calling is just so good. I think Andy's got some tricks up his sleeve. I think that Mahomes, they got a little nervous there in the Texans game, but they came back out. I just don't think the 49ers can keep up points-wise.
That's fair.
Even if they have the run game going, and even if they get Kittle more involved.
Oh, I do love a Kittle.
Don't see them I love Kittle.
Yeah.
Kittle versus Kelsey is going to be great.
Oh my God, yeah.
I think that it's probably going to be very close. I think that it may even come down to a field goal or a last second touchdown. I'm going to say probably like 27-31.
Ooh.
Okay.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay. And MVP, I mean,
Mahomes.
yeah.
It's hard, to go unless Kelsey has 4 touchdowns and he knocked a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
Ran for 80 yards each time.
Yeah, it's
I
definitely.
was thinking that in my head. It's got to be Mahomes.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough. If the Chiefs win and Mahomes is not the MVP, then some crazy crap went down. I will tell you, my MVP is not Patrick Mahomes. And I will tell you that my MVP is also not on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh.
I granted they're not really big underdogs, but the 49ers, after smashing the Packers twice, obviously the Packers are not on the same level, but as a Packers fan, I've watched it firsthand twice, and it hurt both times. The Chiefs are an unbelievable offense. It's I can't fathom the amount of speed that they have on their team. But I do love a good defense, and the San Francisco 49ers defense is the best in the league, and it's not even close. And I think it's going to be a close game. There will be scoring. JJ, our scores are almost similar. I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers 31-28. So I'm thinking Joey Bosa is the MVP of this game. And I think because if he can get into the backfield and get after Patrick Mahomes, that's really the key for them even having a chance is for their defense to step up and at least slow down the Chiefs. I think 28 points is pretty low for the Chiefs, all things considered. But I think I like an underdog. I think the 49ers have what it takes. And basically what I've heard from other people is, I don't know if you guys have heard this before too, but defense wins championships. I think that's a thing.
I have heard that.
People say that. That's a thing. And I'd like to just commit to that. And I do love a good defense. I think the 49ers are really good at football. And I think they have enough. The Chiefs defense is not great against the run. And I don't think Garoppolo is going to have to do much because they have a lot of running backs to moving forward. Obviously, Tevin Coleman getting hurt is a big deal. But Raheem Mostert and even Matt Breida, I think those are actually better running backs than Tevin Coleman, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think Coleman's
100%.
overrated.
Yeah, so that's, my pick.
I haven't really liked him.
Yeah, it's 49ers over Chiefs, so I'll be the only one taking the 49ers, and I'll be glad to sit there. Listen, I would not be shocked if the Chiefs win. It's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a really good game for once. Yeah. Finally, it's going to be nice.
Finally, dude.
So we'll get a good football game, and I'm taking the 49ers by 3, 31-28. Joey Bosa, defensive player, wins the MVP, which has literally,
like that. I do like
it
that.
has only happened out of the 53 prior Super Bowls 10 times. So about 19% of the time, defensive player wins. I think it can happen, and I think it's going to happen this year. And it's going to be a hell of a season for Joey Bosa, who has been a ridiculous rookie all season long, and like I said, is just a mass of man meat. Trying to stop him in the pass rush is just unbelievable. So I'll take the 49ers. You guys take the Chiefs. And that is that. I think as long as we're all on record, that's going to be fine.
That's fine with me.
It could be the 49ers, or it could be the Chiefs, who have finally broken their 50-year Super Bowl drought.
Yeah, it's been a considerable amount of time for the Chiefs, yeah.
Isn't it wild that if you're, and I am not trying to put salt in any wounds, Justin, at all. I think it's good to have on record that we were very close to having a rematch of Super Bowl I.
Yeah,
Packers,
okay, it would have been
Isn't that
cool.
wild?
It would have been cool in the 100th season of the NFL.
Yeah.
To have the first Super Bowl basically happen again. It would have been nice, and it would have been a different outcome than the first time because the Chiefs would have just slaughtered us. It would have even.
Yeah, you ripped the Band-Aid off for the Packers earlier. Yeah. I do want to say, so this is my take on. If I'm putting, I said I didn't have any dogs in the fight, but I, personally as a football fan, we all, of course, want a good game, but I'm, I feel connected to a few people emotionally, a few people in the game. I really am a huge Richard Sherman fan because I think the dude talks, and he backs everything up, and he's getting a lot of slack. Even Darrelle Revis, which I wish Darrelle Revis shut his mouth a little bit on Twitter, he was calling him out for being that cover 3 zone corner. I don't know. I don't like comparing different things. The dude is awesome, and I would like to see him get a Super Bowl because his story, all social media, NFL, ESPN, SportsCenter, their Facebook pages keep sharing this same graphic of his.
Correct me if I'm wrong, real quick. Did he won one with the Seahawks though, right? With the Legion of Boom, didn't they get one?
The Legion of Boom won in 2013.
Okay,
right?
okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted
so
to
thank God.
Yeah.
But what I mean is I truly do think that the Chiefs are going to win, but I didn't want this podcast to go and not have myself on record just for since his interview with Aaron Andrews, that whole, it's a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that whole thing escalated him. He's one of those guys in the NFL that we all truthfully want to see him succeed. And then on the other side, Andy Reid. Him having, being with the Eagles, and my stepdad's a diehard Eagles fan, and him not getting that Super Bowl ring, and then him being with the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are always, they're just like a team they're never terrible. They haven't been terrible in a long time. Maybe there's one season that I'm forgetting about, but they're always 50 years. I know, that's crazy, but in our recent memory, they've been pretty solid. I would love to see him. So I'm rooting for those two people, and I like Catch-Up Patrick Mahomes. You guys know about that, right? I like every time my wife calls him Catch-Up Mahomes now. There's just I like thinking of the individuals in the game. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, I would love to see
individuals that I'm rooting for as well.
Yeah, I'd love to see Andy Reid get one, obviously. And I think Andy Reid is a likable guy, and he's obviously been very successful in his career.
Yeah.
So, I would not be upset if the Chiefs won. I'm just taking the 49ers based off of just pure defense and fascination with the physique that is Joey Bosa. I am not. I mean, listen, that dude is a freak. Every time I see him on the field, he just looks like a cinder block tilted on its side with legs. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm just fascinated by him, and I think he's got what it takes to show up and have probably the best rookie season anyone could ever ask for, just going through winning Defensive Player of the Year, or for rookies, Defensive Rookie of the Year, and then going into the Super Bowl. When like I said, long shot, but I'm taking Joey Bosa for the MVP. There is a list of some strange prop bets, which I would like to get into before we get out of here. We can run down the list and just kind of input what we think, but there's some strange prop bets for sure that are involved with the Super Bowl, And I think we should definitely be getting into those because they're juicy.
Let's talk about them for a little minute, and I think we should keep note of what everybody here says, just so that we can, see how we did in terms of the regular betting, but also these prop bets.
Yeah, it's like a little pop quiz, like a little pop quiz for everybody.
All right.
Yeah, I like it. And I haven't like studied these at all, so like this is gonna be my first reaction.
This is like hot take bets.
Yeah, very.
So the color of the liquid or Gatorade that is poured on the game-winning coach, what color is it going to be? The options are this: lime green, yellow, orange, red. Who drinks red Gatorade?
Red.
Clear or water, blue or purple.
Ooh. Purple, I believe, is a long shot.
Most points here on the prop.
Purple
Yes,
is the longest shot. And I don't see a lot of people drinking purple. It's hard to not pick orange. I feel like
I love purple. Personally.
Orange or lime, green, yellow. Those are the two that I typically see.
Yeah.
Being poured on the
So
All right, Blake, you got to pick one.
yeah. What is your? I'm gonna go. I think it's either gonna be. I think it's either gonna be the 49ers or the Chiefs. It's definitely gonna be the 49ers or the Chiefs. A team in red.
No, I mean, I'm just saying that typically you would see.
I
orange,
got
lime,
you.
lime, green, yellow. But I'm gonna have to go with orange.
Yeah, I too am going to go with orange. I think it's just every time I see somebody get doused, it's orange, and it would be shocking to see another color.
I want to go Glacier Cherry because that's the dark horse best Gatorade.
I feel like I disagree.
It almost looks like glue. I would say it looks like another substance, but this is a family-friendly podcast. I'm not going to say that.
Disturbing.
It has a it has a different looking color. I'm just going to go. So with that, it's not going to be that Arctic cherry. I'm going to go, I think, lime green, yellow.
I'm going to have to agree with you there.
Yeah.
I think that's the OG Gatorade.
It's usually
flavor.
that, yeah. Yeah.
It's the most refreshing, probably, outside of blue and purple.
Studies have shown. Studies have shown definitely the most refreshing. Okay.
Studies have shown, yeah.
All right. Studies have shown on this next prop bet, yes or no answer. Will Jennifer Lopez and Shakira kiss during the halftime performance?
Oh, boy. Kiss?
The long shot is no.
Okay. I mean, obviously.
Wait, the long shot is no.
Yeah.
The long shot is no. Will they smooch on camera?
Wait, no. No. I think it's the other way around. Yes is the long shot. No is like
it has
like the payout. As far as payout.
Yeah, what this isn't the MTV Movie Awards with like Madonna and whoever, Britney Spears or whatever that was,
right,
the VMAs.
Right. Sorry, it's plus
yes.
minus.
Okay, yeah.
So, no, you're fine.
But here's the deal though. Kiss, that would be pretty strong. I don't know. That's somebody like writing a fan fiction, I think, for this halftime show. I don't think it'll happen, but I would not be shocked at all if there was just like a moment where they're like, we're coming together for this.
They feel it.
Yeah.
An intimate moment.
Those hips don't lie. And you know what I mean? Like that's Shakira's motto. So I'll say no though, if I'm betting on it.
Blake, you can't say maybe.
I'm going to go with no too.
All right. He's taking no.
Betting on it, like if I were putting money on it, I'm going to say no. But
there is money to be made.
mean, like,
there is money to be made on the yes side, though. I'm just saying. There's some good money to be made.
You know
You're
what
not going to
mean?
make money.
So, you know what? I'm going to say yes because they're very passionate people. It's in Miami. It's got that, very Latina.
That's true.
It's very passionate. I mean that in a very good way. I'll just say yes because I have no money on it and whatever means nothing, technically. But I say yes.
I'm going to go with no, but I think there's going to be some other hype or meme fodder that happens, kind of like how Left Shark happened a couple of years ago.
And Selfie Kid and all that.
Shark. All right, so not as high of odds, but will there be an Epstein didn't kill himself sign shown during the broadcast?
So somebody
sneak that in
and
then get covered in the camera?
That's a tough one. Somebody would probably have to come in with a Chiefs or 49ers sign with the back blank, right? Mm-hmm. And then write it in on after the fact. Yeah. That's going to be a tough one. I don't see it happening. I don't know. It's a bold move. You get to the Super Bowl, pay $1,000. I don't think you don't jeopardize that to put yourself out there and get kicked out for that.
Blake.
I think that there
sure.
is a mad lad that does that.
Okay, all right. So you're taking it. You're saying, yeah, all right.
I'm taking that bet.
I went wild. Oh, go ahead, Blake. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to go with JJ too on the yes, because I'm pretty sure there will be that one person that decides to put himself out there and try to make himself the one out of thousands. That is different there.
I'm like conflicted because it's like opposite for the Shakira J-Lo thing, whereas like it's like this, like I'm gonna be mad at myself for not saying that it happened, but this time I'm gonna go with no because I just like it would be all over Twitter and it'd be like, oh my god, did you see the sign? But I just don't. For some reason it's just not. I don't see it happening.
That's fair.
Next one is the number of Trump tweets that happened the day of the Super Bowl. It's an over/under, and the over/under number is 13.5 tweets.
Okay, so 13 and a half tweets. 13 and a half. Well, you have to do the half so you can have a definitive over and under. So basically, if he tweets 13 or less, the under wins. 14 or more, it hits the over. This is total day on the Super. I would imagine probably the over, and I think he's going to be very active because of his. I don't know. He's had a strange relationship with the NFL, and anything he can do to take the attention away from something big going on with the NFL or bigly going on with the NFL, I think for sure he's going to hit the over. He's going to be tweeting like a madman.
I couldn't agree more with Justin. I will say the over, especially it's an election year. Everything's going on. We don't have to get political. We all know what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going over. I'm just going the over for pretty much ditto of what you said.
All right, Blake, hit over under 13 and a half tweets from Trump. What you got?
Over.
He's hitting the over. Okay, this is pretty unanimous, which is funny because this is you get paid. You get the payout on this one. So,
looks like the safest bet of the bunch.
It really does. This is solid. So you're in, JJ. You think he's going to go over?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be over.
Awesome.
Especially with this upcoming week.
All right.
All right, next question here. Will both teams' combined score break 76 plus points to break the Super Bowl record for most points scored?
In a Super Bowl. Most points scored in a Super Bowl. You might as well just write Blake in for that because we have his final score.
He has over.
He's got the over by a considerable margin. So Blake, you hit the over, bro. You should bet on that. If you think you're right, bet on it, and you're taking it to the bank, bro.
Man.
I just did the math on mine, and I'm at like the 38-33. That's 71. But for the sake, like I don't want to conflict my prediction with this bet.
Yeah.
But I see it being super high scoring, so I'll just say yes for the sake.
Oh.
Like if I was going to bet.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah, anything is possible. And I think these
you know
two
what
teams,
I mean?
well, the 49ers
I truly think it's going to be wild.
The 49ers
wild.
are not strangers to a shootout. If you watch that Saints game earlier in the season,
no, not at all.
That was legit insanity, and it could very well happen again with the Chiefs here. So yeah, you're not wrong.
Neither of the Chiefs. Yeah, I know it's a little bit more points than my prediction, and that's totally fine.
That's fine. It's you wouldn't trust me. You won't be the only one doing that. Gamblers
right.
are like, I want the money though. Yeah. So I'm gonna take the under because I stand by defense wins championships, and the 49ers defense is no slouch. So I'm taking the under just on the fact that I think the 49ers defense holds them to a reasonable amount of points.
I see that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, even the Falcons-Patriots Super Bowl was crazy, but they didn't break 76.
True.
I'm going to say the under as well.
All right. And there is, I believe, one more on this list.
For those of you pet owners, how many Super Bowl commercials will include a dog?
Oh, boy. So, okay. Total Super Bowl commercials. Is there an over-under?
Oh, there's over-under. Oh, okay.
Over-under is 3.5.
Oh, 3.5? I think that's low. I think that's low for a dog. Come on, man. They're like in the back of every commercial. Like just because they're going to be
that have a dog.
Exactly.
Just featuring a dog anywhere.
A dog anywhere in the commercial.
Yes.
I'm taking the over. I'm taking the over on this. I
Put
think
me on two. Over for me.
Gotta be.
JD's like under.
Yeah, Blake. What you got? Blake, are you taking the over or under?
Yeah, over. Definitely over.
Okay.
While I do pride myself in being contrarian, I'm going to have to agree that there's definitely going to be 3 commercials with a dog.
Well, It's got to be 4 to hit the over.
It'll hit 4.
I think it'll hit 4 for sure.
I mean, how many commercials? There's probably going to be a record amount of commercials this year.
Well, yeah, if the refs keep doing what they're doing, am I right?
Right. Oh my God. Hey, before we wrap,
Yeah.
Justin, before you wrap this, can I throw in? You could call it whatever you want, the David bonus, whatever it is. This is an kind of an homage to my college buddies.
Okay, here we go. David
we would
bonus. Hold on.
always-
Let me hit this David bonus.
Hey,
Okay, David bonus. Let's go.
there we go. It is. I want to bet on what company or brand has the first commercial after the kickoff. That's like the big. I majored in like advertising communications.
Okay.
You don't have to be an expert. All you know, you look at kind of the whole spread of kind of the ad spends per game. For the Super Bowl, like each quarter is broken down.
Yeah.
Obviously, right after kickoff is the most expensive commercial. Right around halftime, it's also one of the most expensive. In like the third quarter, it's kind of like the lower tier.
Yeah.
So, long story short, first commercial after the game has started, right after kickoff. This, just to give you like in previous years, it's been like that's when Bud Light Platinum was released. So that was Budweiser.
Okay.
Bud Light, Bud released Black Crown, this other brand of their beer. This past year was Bon and Viv, the hard seltzer, and that kicked off the whole seltzer war.
Yeah.
I think White Claw saw that they did that and just kind of, I don't know what they did to get them, because whether it was their social media advertising, whatever it is, I don't even know what I'm going to say. I didn't put too much thought into it.
Well, it kind of sounds like it's going to be an alcoholic beverage. You know what I mean?
But in other years, it's like a car brand. But I would be insane not to say what I usually say. I'm going to go a Budweiser commercial.
So you're going Budweiser.
Not their Clydesdale commercial, just a Budweiser brand.
I'm a sucker for a
Budweiser.
good.
I know.
Sucker for a good Clydesdale.
I don't think that'll be their first, is what I'm saying.
I am finding it hard to not pick Pepsi right now. I don't know why, but I also don't want to pick Pepsi. So this is tough for me.
It's a good question. I'm glad I brought it up.
The easy answer for me is Pepsi, but for some reason, I got a funny feeling about Taco Bell this year.
Wow.
I'm just saying. I got a good feeling about the Taco Bell.
They went with a big ad spend there.
Or, you know what? Wait a minute. Doritos. Make it Doritos. Make it Doritos. Okay. Final answer. Doritos. It's somewhere in that, like, nacho taco vibe, and I'm taking Doritos.
I feel you.
Blake, what you got, man? Just throw out a random something.
Anything. PetSmart.
I'm going to have to go with the Bud Light Seltzer that just came out, because I feel like whenever like a new drink comes out.
Oh, you're going specific product.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay.
I feel like that's bonus points.
That is pretty solid.
Yeah. If it happens, Blake, I'll buy you a 12-pack of it.
All
I'll
right.
buy you a pack of it.
All right.
That's
Sounds
solid.
good.
Put that in there.
All right, JJ,
A company that's been hurting under fire lately. Facebook.
Facebook.
Oh.
Facebook.
That's, it really could be. That's a good
I think Facebook
bet.
needs some good ad space where they can maybe talk about how they're people focused.
Yeah.
When they're really stealing.
it's super
metadata.
touching. Yeah.
They're like, we're not about
Something
politics.
Something about like a sick person, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But
That's a
my
really
guess
good
is a
bet,
Facebook
actually.
Commercial.
Oh, man. See, now I'm kind of pissed I didn't take Pepsi. But no, listen. I don't know.
You know what? Whatever. It's
fine.
super. You know what I like? It gets you. It's like, okay, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Because the second they cut to commercial, it sometimes takes a little bit to what is it? Like it's a black screen, and then I don't know. Just always in college, it started then. We were always like, what is it gonna be? And I don't know. It just hypes me up.
Yeah.
And all eyes are on that screen at that time because the game just started. So we'll see.
Okay. Well, all right. Now that that's locked in, and we also locked in our obviously our picks, our scores, our MVPs. We'll be able to come back to this, pull the audio, and see who was right or wrong. I'm pretty excited. I'm glad we had one from both sides. So, if in some freaky chance the 49ers wind up taking it, which it's just the Chiefs look unstoppable, but I'm glad we were able to lay this down, and I'm glad the Chunk Podcast was able to be resurrected, and we're back, and it's going to be a pretty consistent 2020 this year. I promise you. Just be on the lookout for some more stuff. I'm going to hit this little outro. Things are getting pretty fancy here, so we got a little outro. I'm just going to hit it, and then when it fades, I guess that's it. So Blake, David, JJ, not too shabby. I am Justin, and you can follow us at The Chunk Pod And on the Chunk website, thechunkpod.com, you can stay up to date with everything that's going on. We'll see you guys next time. Oh, that was kind of aggressive.
I like it, though. I like
right.
it. Start 2020 off aggressive. Thanks,
There it
man.
is.
Thanks for having us.
We'll catch you guys later. It's the Chunk Podcast.
Bye.
That's good.